Well, I'm going to call to order at 7:04. Um, this is my first meeting as chair, so I may, Sherry, if you note that I'm missing anything, please
Just,
give me a shout. Um, I don't think we have any public participation today. So then, and Jill is out, so we've got Vanessa, Amy, Pete, and Maureen. Hello, good to see you again. This is your first meeting doing minutes. If you need me to clarify anything, give me a shout. And then I guess we can go to approval of minutes. Yes. And maybe so. Sherry, you had checked. Are we able to do this with this small amount of people?
we have a quorum. We just have the majority of the voting commissioners present.
Okay, so the only minutes that we have to approve in this moment, I think, are the May minutes that I sent around for everybody to take a look at. So did anybody have anything to add or any corrections?
I
Yeah.
had, I had emailed to you that
Yep.
one sentence seemed to have just been truncated. Was there
You
something?
know,
Was
I
it?
I edited it and the finished sentence should be on the ones that I sent as an attachment yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So you were right that I had just trailed off at the end, but I finished that sentence.
So
Uh,
I would like to make a motion to accept the minutes of our May meeting.
great. Does anybody second that?
I can second. Oh, Vanessa
Great.
got it.
And then all who approve, I approve.
Approve.
Sherry approves.
And Vanessa approves.
Okay.
Great. Then the May minutes are approved and they can be sent on to um, they'll be sent on to Sherry Dalton. I will do that since I have them, and then you can just do the next set. And so then the next thing up is operations. Sherry, I believe you may have financial stuff at this point.
Yep, that's why I ran out for a moment.
Sure.
I printed off some reports and it were downstairs. The reports that we received only go through the end of May, and I do believe there have been, I know I had more expenses. In fact, I got a reimbursement today. The expenses I had included the plaque I prepared for Vanessa, the popcorn for the AAPI, a $50 honorarium for the lion dancers.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole AAPI cost $64.97 this year. Okay.
Great.
And then I printed brochures that are sort of an ongoing general. They're in our little container.
Mhm.
I know, and I also put in for $450 for Juneteenth. I have not seen the expenses that for Pride on here.
Um,
We want to get those in before the end of the year.
so my only question on Pride was what's appropriate? So it was Voices of Steel who did the music from the high school. Is there something that's appropriate to give them? Is an honorarium appropriate? I didn't know for a high school group what to do.
You wouldn't be able to because they're part of the regular town and they don't have a budget.
Yeah.
I mean, there really isn't anything that you do for a group like that in town. The reason why with Lion Dance is because they have outside trainers and teachers, and so we give an honorarium to them. We did it last year as well. And Maureen, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it would not, there is no appropriate way to give money to a group of students who sang in a chorus in
No,
school.
I don't think so. I think if it's town people, we thank them. So if you
Yes.
send them an email, but I don't think we can monetary. But yeah, it's a good, but I'm just trying to think. I don't think we've done it in the past. It is a group that probably has their own Um, it probably has their own budget, like, like a booster sort of, but yeah,
Yeah, I know there's like the Wakefield Music Boosters, which supports like the marching band and the orchestra and chorus things. Would it also be possible to like, if we wanted to support them in some way, like give them something like tangible instead of money? Like I don't know if you want to like support these groups, like I'm trying to think of other ways that we could help them if we can't monetarily.
So I don't know. I had thought, and I know this doesn't really fall into help, but I had thought about the only thing I could think of, and this is reflects my high school experience. The only thing I could think of was food or pizza or something, some kind of gift certificate. I mean, essentially, Pride didn't cost anything. I think the cookies were donated, and
They were, they were $200 and change.
oh, then Jill has the receipt for that. So so anything Jill has for that can be submitted. I didn't really, we had all the supplies we needed.
You bought bling, you bought some,
It was pretty much, we had bling in the bag.
but
In
there
the,
was new,
in
there
that,
was new bling.
yeah, there was what?
There was new materials in there.
Oh, I'll take a look. I
Did
think
you
I
purchase
just,
that?
yeah, if maybe I'll take a look through my receipts to see. In the end, you had flags. I may have bought like $9 worth of pins.
That's
Um,
okay. And
so
for the Pride wristbands, those were new. They were
I think that,
pins.
yeah, there were, okay, so I'll take a look at that. I can submit that receipt, but so it was really small. It was a small amount because it was whatever Jill had for the cookies, and then I'll find a receipt for the wristbands and pins. And
And even if
then
it's small, you're not
yeah,
expected to take on, because you're a
I know.
volunteer, to take on
Yeah.
expenses. So even if it's small, like I had $15 worth of popcorn in bags.
Yeah.
You, you put in for these things. We have a budget. It is there for us to use so that we
Yeah.
don't have to incur costs.
Yeah.
They will not, they'll pay you for, they will not reimburse you for taxes. So
Yeah.
you need to use the tax ID
Yep.
form. I have a copy of it. Sherry will send you a copy of it.
Sure.
If you, like, I didn't use it for some of the online stuff because it was more complicated to use it. In person, though, I might use it. If I go to Staples, let's say.
Yeah, I've done it for, I mean, when I used to work for a nonprofit, I've done it for printing and things like that, or, but yeah, so I can get that receipt in, but it was a very, overall, I would say I probably spent under $20.
That's okay,
So,
because once all of these, this is some of the math I did. It turns out that we have only spent like through the end of May, because we did put in receipts for June, and we want to get in before the end of the year. We only spent like 27% of the $3,000 because we instead spent the grant money that we received from the Mass Cultural Council. That's what we put in for the, so this particular, so in, one of the things that's good to know is just how much things will cost us going forward. $3,000 should more than cover it if we're not overly ambitious.
mhm.
But do put in for that.
Yep.
And by the end of June report should have everything that through the end of the year. And it will be closed out, and then the budget, the money does not roll over. We get a
Yep.
brand new infusion of $3,000. What does roll over is any donations that we get, or any money that we get from people buying signs. And I think we're gonna have to start really advertising, because I bought signs, last year, because we ran out of signs.
Yep.
And I still have most of them. And it would be good if we sold them.
Yeah. When we discuss the farmers market, perhaps that would be a good place to do some of that.
So we are, like I said, financially, we're in very, very good shape. We used about 75% of the money available to us from other sources. So that means there's still a little money left in the revolving account to go over through the next year. But please do get that in by the end of the month.
Sure.
That's my financial report.
I just had a quick question. So for our events, I know like this year was a little hard to put on events and stuff, so we would be spending more money in a typical year. But is there like a spreadsheet or something that we have that like approximates like if this past year like we didn't spend that much money on our Pride stuff, like we could kind of see over the years how much each event is costing us? Because it just seems kind of crazy that like we only spent like a small fraction of our budget, and like there were a lot of things that we couldn't really anticipate for. But I feel like if we did have something that we could go back and see like how much we, gave a company or organization that supported us last year, like, and then see in the future how much like we could pay them or things like that.
The treasurer, 2 treasurers ago, started doing that. And that's how we were able to justify getting an increase in our budget. But she didn't pass that along. I don't, I haven't, I don't have updated. What I do have is because I've been involved with most of the major events, I do have information on expenditures for each of these major events, like Martin Luther King. This year, it did not cost us anything really, or very little for the International Women's. The year before, we had a little bit more expenses. It varies. The things that, when we did the big Asian Pacific Islander the year before, we gave a lot of honorariums, and we did have some invoicing that we had to pay for. So it ebbs and flows, and it depends on how much outside talent we have to pay. Juneteenth, we pretty much know is, well, it used to be $350, now it's $450. And I wish I had thought about this in advance, but I had gotten paper signs, paper fans with our logo and Juneteenth 2024 on it, because it's going to be really hot on Thursday night. I wish I had thought about paper fans, because we certainly could have afforded to do that. But there, if we had things that were consistently the same kind of program, Martin Luther King is pretty consistent. We would know.
Well, and some of it is like right now and this is something that I've been like, I would like right now Pride, for example, it's pretty much people who are just, it's speakers and any kind of music, and it just happened to be that this year's music was just a town group, which just a town group. It's wonderful. Like, it was really wonderful that it was a town group, but it, it was it's not like it was really a low cost. It's like a low cost event, which is nice. If we had the manpower or a little bit more time to plan, I feel like it would be nice to look out at the year and list all the events and see what we like, look at what money we have and see what we could do to maybe even make like a family day for Pride. But if I'm being completely honest right now, I just don't know. We're small numbers, so I don't know if our organizational, like I could make a list of what I'd like to spend if we actually have the number of people to organize it. But I think it would be a good idea to have some kind of projections. I can gather the information that Sherry has, and I can look at what we'd like to do.
Because I'm supposed to be the treasurer.
Yeah, and I can kind of like, and for anything that we think to ourselves, like, well, would it be nice to do a little bit more here? Maybe we can put in, like, estimate what it might cost. Because I think if I was going to do something, for Pride, say, for example, I think it would just mirror pretty much exactly what they're doing in Stoneham, or exactly like some of the people they used in Reading. So I feel like I could probably estimate exactly what it would cost.
And a couple of years ago, during the month, we had a musical performance, 2 performers actually, and we had sign interpreters, even though there was only really one person at the performance that benefited. But they decided they wanted to do that. But in terms of like the local, the kids groups that perform for us, I
Mhm.
think in the future, we just should, before school ends, because school's over now, just plan on making a pizza party for them to thank them.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Just that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea because I know this year especially has been really like strange with the commission as a whole. So it is kind of hard to get accurate numbers based off of this past year. But like something like that great idea, like I feel like if we knew roughly like, okay, this is how much money we'll have, like it would be more accurate to see if we had the, funds to do a party like that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And
Same.
actually, we do have the funds, and I do have accurate numbers for several of our major events. The thing is, not everything costs money. Unless you do something like an additional performance for Pride, the actual ceremony itself is not really a cost center. The kinds of things that end up being cost are when we do cultural commemorations, like for, Asian Pacific Islander and for Hispanic heritage. And if I'm able to get, I'm sure there's going to be a cost if I'm able to get an indigenous storyteller.
Yep.
So
So
I think, I just want to say it's a great conversation. We, the reason we upped the town council and the town actually upped the money years ago was so you wouldn't spend so much time worried about the budget. So we have the money. Sherry, it's so great that you're tracking it. And I really think like, let's go into next year. I think Vanessa's suggestion is great.
Mhm.
And so when we plan events, even if they're town folks, let's think about
Yeah.
thanking them in an appropriate way. So a gift certificate to a local, like to Brothers, or throwing them a pizza party, which is more planning. But let's talk about that for the future, and I'll just kind of remember. But like the point was, we just didn't want to spend so much time worried about
Yep.
the money. The town manager and the town council will find the money, and like luckily you found the grant this year. But I think that's, we made a
Yeah.
conscious decision last year. I think it was 2 years ago, actually, that like we were going to pay people for their, identity if they were coming out, and they could take a donation or like a small gift of gratitude. And we
Mhm.
should think about extending that to local groups as well. I think it's a
Yeah,
good.
that would be, and I guess that was sort of my, sorry to have meandered off topic, but or to many topics. But I think that's my question is like, I didn't know for a high school group, like it would have been nice to hand them even just a bunch of pizza gift certificates or like something. And knowing that that's like, that does fall under the umbrella of what we can do is good to know. Cause
So I would check with Sherry Dalton. And
yeah.
then I think for the future, just to get confirmed, but I think
Yeah.
that's okay.
Okay.
And so then let's put that on someone's list, and then we'll move
Yep.
on.
Perfect.
okay.
All right. The only other thing I will bring to the, I guess I don't know if this should be under finances or under future planning, but Graciela Pacheco sent us a message asking for sponsorship to bring an author to Galvin Middle School, Jennifer DeLeon. I didn't know, she didn't get back to me to let me know like any further information on it. But so I'm not sure if we should wait for her to reply to me, or if, at what point we want to kind of have a discussion as to whether we want to sponsor it. I think she asked for $500 as part of a larger cost.
I think that if it is scheduled during Hispanic Heritage Time, that would
Okay.
be a great way for us to have some support of a program during that month.
Okay.
And I
And
know she's also looking at partnering with BB and having a community event. I don't know whether it would be at the BB
Yep.
or the Galvin. And they were looking at, I think, having a book club to go with it, where they'd be reading a book as part of the BB book club, not students, but adults, as from that same author.
yeah, I think that would be a great, different than when we've done the dance parties. And of course, last year, Teresa arranged for speakers and they bowed out at the last minute. We ended up having nothing. And I I was in Chile, I was in Latin America, so
Uh,
I couldn't help.
So so it would be October 30th, and which is that,
Not during Hispanic
No.
History
no,
Month.
Hispanic
when
Heritage is the whole month of October.
Okay, it is.
I
Yes.
thought so, right? Because I know
Yes.
that it comes up quickly in fall.
Yeah. Did she give you a date?
She said October 30th, there would be a community event, and they are asking for $1,000, but I think if we wanted to have a discussion as to like what might be it, that might be a bit high for us, but I
Well,
don't know.
in the past, when we've done the major Hispanic Heritage event, Teresa got donations, but those events cost about $1,500. So it would not be out of line for us to spend $1,000 on that kind of event, because the other ones don't cost that kind of money.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will say, I think her total cost for the event is somewhere between like $3,000 and $5,000. I don't have a total from her, but it's definitely
Yep.
on the higher side. This author, I think, is flying in from somewhere. They're not local.
Yeah, and it's part of, I think the BB Library is giving some money, some sponsorship, and so this would be like um in part to that. So yeah, if it's I'm not sure the process of figuring that out, or if we, I mean, I'm in favor of helping them. I don't know what's financially, what is the number we could do, but and how we could connect to it.
Well, as I said, $1,000 would not be unheard of for that particular month's event.
Mhm.
We've spent more in the past for the big dance parties. As long as we are part of the planning committee and the HRC's name is attached, so that, because it's something that we are a co-sponsor of. And if she needs extra help, she already has help, but
Okay.
it wouldn't require that much from us. And
Okay.
the way things are going right now, if we can tack on to something else that's going on,
Mhm.
great, because we
Okay.
don't have the bandwidth to do a lot of big events ourselves.
Okay, so I will reach back out to her and just kind of ask some follow-up questions and see how we can partner with that, and and tell her that we'd like to help out.
And Han, Vanessa, Amy, Marie, and Pete, what do you think about this? Do you think this is a good option for us?
I think
She had, oh, go ahead, Vanessa, sorry.
oh, sorry. I was also wondering, like, financially, like, what is the likelihood of getting a similar grant to the one that really helped us this year? Like, I think that like $1,000 would definitely be like, this would be a great project to put it towards, but like financially, like, is it pretty set that like we could probably get the same grant or a similar grant to help us out?
Well, you have to apply for those grants in like January. You can't just get them any time of the year. You have to do it during the application period.
But for the Mass Cultural Council, for the Arts Culture, sorry, the Mass Cultural Council grant, did we get it?
I applied for it and we got one last year. We got an $1,800 grant.
But
That's how
didn't we
paid
get
for it.
one? Did we get one for the upcoming year?
No, because no one applied for it.
Oh, I thought we
Someone
did.
had to apply for it.
Um,
Is the application for that one in the fall though?
No, it's in the winter.
Oh, it is?
Mhm.
um,
Jess, you know best because you're on that council.
I
Yeah.
am on that council. It's for some reason I thought that I had seen us. But that would make sense because I didn't have to recuse myself from making a decision. So, but yeah, I can get the schedule for that. But they just awarded and did the awarding in May, so it would be like one cycle out.
Yes.
But
And-
yes, we can apply for that one again.
And the thing is, the reason I applied for it is because we thought we were going to do the programs that were as ambitious and we weren't sure at that point when I applied whether our budget would be approved. Then we got bingo, we got both. we got the raise in budget money and the grant. And then we had not enough people to put on the big flashy events. But that's okay. You know,
Are
we've
we
done a
able,
lot.
are we able to use any of the leftover money that we have this year towards events in the future, or is that like not allowed?
The budget, money budgeted by town council, the $3,000 does not roll over. That's why I said, get all the bills in before the end of this month to
Yeah.
be, to come off of that particular year. And then we'll have a fresh $3,000 as of July 1.
Well, like I wasn't sure if you could like put money towards the event now, or like for the things that we were saying, like giving like a brother's gift certificate or something, like would you be able to buy that now and then let it come out of this year's money and then save it towards like something, like if Wakefield Music does something for you next year, like could you then give it to them then, just so that it doesn't come out of next year's money?
It's
I-
actually frowned upon to do that, Vanessa. So
Okay.
yeah, like it,
Yeah.
so it's called like spending down your budget, and it's actually frowned upon for doing it. So
No,
like I
spend-
said, we will find the money. I don't want us to get hooked up on the money. I didn't realize, I just looked at the Cultural Council website and it just has the fiscal 24 awardees there.
Yeah. That should be, is that the most recent? It should have the most recent set of awardees
Yeah,
in it.
that's the
Okay.
most recent because though I applied for the youth council.
Intergenerational, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and I think we applied in the fall and then we heard back, I want to say like in January or February, which is why I wasn't sure, like in the fall, like this upcoming fall, could we apply for a grant and then get it in time for some later events, like for the Women's Day or Pride, Juneteenth, that type of stuff? Like if we were awarded it, then we'd probably have the money by then.
Vanessa, the $3,000 will cover most of these standard events without a problem.
Well,
It
and
really
either way, I
covers
think
the
we
amount of
should.
money.
I think we should. I mean, I think knowing the Arts Council, and this is being on the Arts Council, I would say, like applying for it is not a bad idea. I would just try and think of like, well, what can we specifically, like, what will we use it for, specifically, maybe out beyond what we have already, because it's, I don't think we need it for the smaller spending expenditures for the events we're doing now. But if we did want to do something, maybe we could do the application in a more targeted way. I think it's still a good idea whenever there are grants, arts grants. I always tell everybody apply, apply, apply. But let's just think of like we'll think about what we could really do with it. So I will put a pin in that and think about and look at all the dates so that I can also send out what the dates are for everything, and then we can see what we might want to do if we were going to apply. Not to get us caught up in budget, I will move us on because I think we're good. Sorry, my little agenda is gone. So for activities, I think Pride Month is pretty much wrapped up for everything.
There's one thing that's coming up that I'm going to support, and I hope you might as well. It depends on how big it gets. The senior center is having a senior pride event on the 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. And they're inviting anybody LGBTQ plus 55 or older and all of their friends, family, allies. Right now, they don't have a lot of people who've responded, but I will let you know if it's going to be, if this is going to be a bigger event. They're having apps and mocktails and, it's going to be a very nice, they haven't had anything like that before, but if you're available, I know I already told Karen Burke, the director, that if she needed me to serve or help, I would be there.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it would be appropriate for the Human Rights Commission to just bring our bling, have a little table and hand out bling.
Yeah, I'm game for what day is it again?
It's the 26th of June. It's
Okay.
this month. Yeah. So it's coming right up. And like I said, right now, they don't have a lot of people registered. But again, it's the very first event. They've never done one before. And this is just under activity, something to consider. And I'll keep you posted on how it's doing in terms of, attendees and registrations. Because do you think we should bring Fried Bling and even just do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice if they, especially if they're in need of support for kind of like building up the event or making it feel more full or attended. I'm fine with doing that. I mean, I really like the senior center. My mom does chair yoga over there, so so I'm game for supporting them for doing something like this. I think it's nice. It's a little bit of an it's a community that I don't think gets a lot of outreach during Pride Month, so I think it's nice.
Okay, that's just one other thing that on the activities for Pride. For Juneteenth, I spoke with Nicole McLean today, and it's going to be so hot. Originally, I thought maybe I would get some gospel music, and I finally, but it was too late, found a possible source for next year if we wanted to have gospel music. And it wouldn't cost us anything except an honorarium. It's a community group that goes out to nonprofits and community groups and performs.
Cool.
Okay, so I will just keep that. But we have, just like last year, we have, thank you, Han, for arranging this. We have 2 elected leaders, Kate Garabedian and Lipa Garabedian, and Senator Jason Lewis. They are bringing a poet, author, historian to give background on Black history and Juneteenth. We have this really cool hip hop poet rapper guy who's going to be Big Brother Sadi. And then when the flag is raised, because we're going to take the flag down, we have an honor guard it makes it very solemn, from the Lynn ROTC, and Janie David, who is a pop singer. She's a singer-songwriter. She's a beautiful voice. Will be singing the Black National Anthem. I don't think the event is going to take more than about 45 minutes. And in the heat, that's going to be enough.
Is anybody from the town council speaking at it, or?
I'm remiss and I didn't even ask anybody. I was trying to get through to Nicole McLean and concentrating on her, and I didn't. Yeah. Maureen, do you think that, I know you're going to see Gatsby that night. I'm going in July.
Awesome.
I'm ushering for Gatsby in July. Do you think, is Mike McLean hesitant to speak at these events? Because I know he was at the last one, but Jonathan spoke.
Yeah, I would maybe just ask him, but I also understand you trying to keep it short because of the weather. And I think you could ask if he just wants to say a welcome on behalf of the town, and then if Jess was very good about making sure people stuck to the time, but totally understandable of keeping it short. It's a big program, and I want the performers to get all the attention.
Yeah, we have so much coming from Juneteenth. I'm the coordinator this time, and believe me, I will keep us to the time too. I'm good at scheduling productions as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to do a very brief welcome. Jess is going to read the land acknowledgement, then we're going to go right into our speakers, and there's a lot of speaking. And it's varied enough, it'll be interesting, but we do need to alert on both Kate and Jason that they're going to be speaking at the beginning of the event, and to please arrive around 5:30. And they can stand, the AmeriCal is air conditioned. Anyone who is waiting can wait inside there if they need to. And WCAT is going to be there for sound and recording. So there'll be a YouTube video as well.
How long should their speech be? Sorry.
Under 5 minutes. Yeah, they're brief, under 5 minutes. And And you have the details about the other speakers, so they know that there's this guy who's a historian and an author, and then Big Brother Sadi is really fun. He's like I said, the hip hop poet. And he performs a lot in the Boston area. He's a young fellow. And Jess is going to be there I'll set up the table at 5 o'clock, and Jess is going to make sure that, things stay and don't blow away.
Yeah, I'll bring all of my rocks.
And,
Um,
and see if anyone wants to buy a sign. We need someone who's around. If anyone wants to buy a sign, I'll bring some
Sure.
signs,
okay.
and I'll bring my camera and take pictures in between introducing people.
Okay.
Should we buy maybe some like waters or something too if it's gonna be hot?
I think most people are gonna come with their own water bottles, setting up a water station.
I mean, I guess like how do those water stations work that they've had at other things? I mean, it's a shorter event, so I don't know if that would be.
Short event. I don't think we really need to worry about, plus they can go inside to the fountain in the Americol and get a drink inside the Americol as well.
But I don't mind. I mean, to the discussion we had, I don't mind buying a tray of water, like, or just like a thing of it. It's it's like when I do my storytelling show, I always give people free seltzer. It's it will be very hot that day, so it might be a nice thing, but
I still have a couple of jugs that belong
Yeah.
to HRC and cups. I'll just put them in my car, but that water is gonna be hot.
Well, yeah, I'll just I could that's I think
It's
I
gonna
can
be-
just come over from just grab something maybe even from farmland, like
No,
just
I mean, I can bring that. I have these gallon things and I have cups.
yeah. So I think so it won't be the coldest water in the world, but it might be, it's a nice it's a nice gesture.
Okay, I'll bring the water.
Sorry, Sherry.
Oh, that's okay. I've been hauling around everything in the trunk of my car except for the water. I did put some stuff back into storage, but not because I took stuff out again.
Yeah.
And then we're sort of on hiatus, but in terms of active events, but we really can't stop planning.
Well, and is the farmer's market, do we have any dates from that?
Yes.
do.
Okay. This was very upsetting. I didn't know because Jeremy never told me the last couple of years that each farmer's market may only have one nonprofit table. I don't understand that. They
That's
only allow one nonprofit organizational table. That's it for each one. And there was 3 dates left, 7/20 and 2 dates in October, which we know from last year were horrible. And I'm looking, well, 7/20, I'm away and I would be very happy to do the farmer's market, except I'm not going to be here. And then Han said to me, sign up for it anyway. I'll see what I can do. Because
Okay.
that is the really early date, 7/20.
Okay.
So it's going to be up to everybody else because I won't be around.
Jill said she might be able to do a farmer's market date, so put it out to her as well. I just don't know. 7/20, I'm not sure. I have like one of those weekends I have to go to my mother-in-law's birthday. I have to see when that is. I gotta get my calendar out and take a look at that. I'm so surprised. I thought we were even had a table next to another nonprofit table the last time I was there.
That was in October. And I know because when I got in touch with them, they said only one each one. And the only slot available besides October was 7/20.
Okay. Well,
So Han said, sign up, and I did
Yeah.
sign up. We're registered. They provide a table, but we have to bring our own canopy and everything else.
okay.
And I have a smaller, older canopy. We're taking it out this weekend. If it's in any kind of shape, I can leave it on my porch for others to pick up and use on that day. You know, you can pick it up from our house, but we're gonna be out of town from the Wednesday through Sunday of that particular week. As we are every year, we're always gone those days at a festival.
Should we use some of our funds that we have available this month to pay for a canopy?
There isn't enough storage at Sound Hall. They're not gonna want to store a canopy for us. A few boxes, that's one thing, but a canopy would be a little bit asking a bit much. I mean, I can ask, but I don't think that they really plan on storing, you know, that much stuff for us. And it's only used maybe once a year or twice. And we usually
Yeah.
borrow some money.
What do we use it for? For any farmer's market event and,
If we have a Wakefield Day, we've
yeah.
used it for Wakefield Day. That's about it. So to spend $150 on a canopy and the town not really want to store it, it ends up getting moved around from house to house, and that you might as well just borrow one from someone. So it doesn't really pay to buy one.
Sherry, when you reach out to Sherry Dalton, can you ask if the town has any we could use for that date? I'm thinking with Town Day, we might have a couple that maybe we could borrow for that date if they have asked. And if they don't, you can check out yours. I think I'm available 7/20, so I can be there. I usually go on most farmer markets day. So why don't you ask Sherry Dalton and see if the town has any we could borrow for that one day? And if not, see if yours works, and we'll plan a pickup later in July. Because it sounds like you have all the materials anyway, so
Mhm.
I can get them from you and put them in my
No,
car. and
actually,
go.
all the materials are gonna go back into storage, and
Okay.
James Ioso he's great. I gave Jess his cell phone number. You call him and he is ready to help you. You don't have to go through Sherry to pick up our stuff anymore or go
Great.
through Steve.
Okay.
So there's a terrific guy, facility guy he's been fabulous, you know.
Okay. But yeah, we can see if Sherry knows if there's a spare. Um and then the stuff will be in storage for that. And I just looked at the calendar. I should be around to at least be part of that time to help out. We did shifts last time and that was kind of nice, a good relief.
We use Sign Up Genius to do shifts. We just
Yeah.
divided it up into 3 different shifts. And if we have a full
Cool.
contingent of people, it's nice to have 2 at a time, so there's somebody to give you relief. But if not, you know, just even one person. I think we did like hour and a quarter shifts. They weren't even that long. The person who sets up, of course, has longer, and then you want help breaking
Yeah,
down.
I like depending on what they hand you for, like if we do have some kind of tent or some kind of canopy to put up, it's no simple task. If your husband hadn't been there with hammers and things,
Oh, yeah.
I would have been out SOL. But so yeah, I can set up a sign up genius. We can figure out who will be there and what implements of destruction we will have to be able to set it up. Mary and I will add you to the sign up genius committed. That then leaves us with any upcoming, what are the next upcoming events for us to be looking at? Probably fall.
So Indigenous people and Hispanic heritage. And if we can piggyback onto the book person, that would be great because she's
Yep.
gonna be discussing Latin identity, I believe.
Yep. Let's do that. I'll reach out to Teresa to see what she's done in the past or who she's what kind of contacts she's.
I've been involved with that too. But
Yeah, didn't she have something she was trying to get together last year that didn't come together?
and they backed out and hurt the
Yeah.
last.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
don't know if those are reliable or not.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. And like I said, Benny Week gave me a load of material on who to contact for Indigenous people.
Great.
And haven't read through all of it yet. And I will make the contact now and hope we
Okay.
can find someone for sometime in October.
Okay. Yeah, if you can reach out to that, and then we can coordinate and yeah.
The big annual event is January, Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And
Can I make a suggestion as we're going into summer and I know the fall's gonna get busy? Do you think we could maybe like do a social media post and maybe put something in the paper and just tell people what our two, like, we're hoping to do something for Indigenous People Day and we're hoping to do something for Hispanic Heritage Month. And if
What-
anyone would like to volunteer with us, please reach out. Because I do think there's people, I'm thinking of Saratine Risotto who's helped in the past. So I think there's people who might not join the HRC, but willing to help if we
Yeah.
tell like kind of, and our next meeting is, and put in the meeting, it like join us at our meeting or email us. I think that might be a good way to kind of maybe do some recruitment.
Yeah.
I will do that because, I have, it's very easy for me to do the listings, the press coverage thing, sending it out to everybody. And I will send something to Hun and she can do a general email through our distribution system. But I also send things to Jen McDonald and she then sends it out to the whole town. So I'll write something
Mhm.
and,
Yeah,
I have
I
things.
think people spend the summer trying to think about like what they want to spend their time on, right? So if we kind of get, maybe there's somebody who has a connection to some, like, anyway, it might be good to do that. Thanks, Sherry.
We've tried, what always works best is individually approaching people, but it does not hurt to make a general call for volunteers and assistance.
Yeah, I think that's good. And
And Jen, Jess, am I talking to Sherry Dalton about the tent or are you?
um I don't mind talking to her since you
Okay.
will be away. I can reach out to see if that's available.
Okay,
Um
so that, Hun, put that down as my
yeah,
to-do,
my to do.
to put together a call for volunteers, to the press and for social media. And Jess, yeah,
And then also asking
this is
her
one thing
about
we're not,
gift certificates.
gift certificates
Oh,
for,
yep.
oh yeah, and check this, yeah, whether we can give like a pizza party. Since you can talk
Yep.
to Sherry,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
This is one thing we forgot to say to you, Con, when you were taking the notes. At the end of the meeting, which is coming up really soon, you would go through the notes and say, here are your to-dos. Just, skim through it and say, these are the things you've made commitments to do on behalf of the HRC. And I know that I said I would find us an Indigenous person, hopefully someone to do something for Indigenous People Day and put together a call for volunteers. And also I'm doing some financial projections, putting together what I have and
Yep.
giving you this idea of how much things have cost over time from what I've spent.
I have that as being Jess, but for Pride and Sherry, you're gonna do it for the activities as well?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do, yeah, because I have the financial records from the past years. I have all the financial reports and I was involved with so many of those events. The only thing I'm lacking right now is the actual cost for Pride, including the bling, and I think the cookies, the request for the cookies was $200.
Yep.
So I have all the rest of all the cost from this spring. I have all the costs from this spring.
Great.
Sherry, I was also thinking for the senior pride event. Do you know if they have like a flyer or something? Maybe we could put that on the digital kiosks or we could put that on our social media.
I've requested the flyer so I can put it up on our Facebook page. But in the meantime, I just put up the Pride book list from the library. I thought that was to take precedence. And next I'll put up the senior flyer on our Facebook page. They have a staff at the Senior Center, Vanessa. So their staff should be putting together these things or promoting their events. They have a staff that knows how to do layouts and they know about the digital kiosk and the like. And I think I already saw a flyer for Senior Pride up in a kiosk.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Cool.
they have a whole paid staff. They have a director, they have an activities director, they have office staff to take care of things like this.
So then I think that kicks us off for beginning planning for fall. We are pretty much set for Juneteenth, I believe. And um, I will get the stuff together for farmers market. So I think that brings us to matters not anticipated. Does anybody, Pete or Amy, does anybody have anything that
I,
else to bring up?
I
to
have one
mention?
thing I just wanna, is Amy still here?
I think maybe dropped off. I just was noticing.
Oh, okay. I don't know if anyone noticed, but there was an increased police presence during our Pride event, and I assume there might be also for Juneteenth. And I wanted to thank the department through her, for being so mindful of our safety.
Yeah,
It
that
was a
was.
wonderful event and nothing bad happened.
Yeah, I had a brief conversation with Amy on as we were leaving. I am very. I feel like for some of these things, this is the first time I'm meeting people face to face, not on Zoom, and it takes me a minute. But I talked to her briefly. I think I committed myself to run in any run that they were doing for the police. So that's what I've given. I've given of myself to do 5K runs if needed. um, so so yeah, so I think if there's not anything else from Pete or anybody else has anything to bring up.
Can I just to wrap up the meeting, can we'll end it just in a moment of remembrance. There was a former RH human rights
HRC.
RC, wow, member Donna Murphy, who passed away last week, and she was on
Oh,
the HRC for a short bit. And she was actually on the Arts Council as well.
oh,
She was actually she was in Sherry and I's book club, so a beloved member and volunteer in the town, and will be missed. And so just wanted to take a moment to recognize her and her contribution to this group.
yeah.
Donna was appointed, and even though was beginning some very, very painful and serious treatment, she was involved with our very first AAPI, APAH event, live event at the America, the one that was in the smaller room, in the Heritage Room. And even though she was walking with a cane, she still came through. She was there. I mean, she's really lovely lady. She was involved with other things, a lot of other things in town. But for the short time, I was so sad that she couldn't continue, and she was too. But her medical treatments and her condition just unfortunately got worse. Yeah, Donna Murphy was a lovely, lovely person, and a lot of people will miss her. Um,
Thank you for bringing that up, and yeah, it's been really. I've never seen it more true that this town is built on volunteers. So yes, this is it's really been a wonderful way to meet people, and I think that trio of book club, Arts Council, and HRC. I mean, is
It's our group. Yeah.
it was really a power hitter. But if that is, I believe that if nobody else has anything, then I would say, I'll make a motion to end the meeting. Is that
motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn?
Did you want me to go through the list of items that I
Yeah,
have?
maybe let's hear that first. Get back in
Sure.
that to-dos.
Oh, yeah.
So I have, from a financial report standpoint, I have Sherry will provide historical financial reports and estimates for future reference. Jess will provide estimated projections for future Pride activities for reference as well. For Senior Pride event, I have Sherry will keep us updated on the event and place their flyer on our Facebook page. For Juneteenth, I have that Sherry and Jess will arrive at 5 p.m. and set up the table for the event. For the farmers market, I have Jess will check with Sherry Dalton to see if the town has any canopies available. And you'll also set up a sign up genius for the event. For Ingenious People's Day, Sherry will reach out to schedule a storyteller for Ingenious People's Day. And you'll also post on social media to outreach for volunteers for both Indigenous people and Hispanic heritage activities. I have this is for the Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm going to put it in that category. Jess will follow up with Graciela for more details on the sponsorship event. And that's it.
That's
Great.
keep us busy. I am not going to be here for the July meeting. We leave on
Okay.
Wednesday morning for our camping festival
Okay.
recently, but I will send you any kind of notes that I have, information, updates.
Okay.
I'll make a point of that.
All right.
One last thing
The
I
only
just
meeting I
wanted
miss.
one thing I just wanted to add in before we close out the meeting is I've been on this council as a volunteer and then as a commissioner for like about 2 years now. And Sherry's been with me like through the whole time. And I really appreciate her help through the past few years. And it's been great knowing people as they go in and out. But Sherry, especially thank you for all your guidance and help. And especially coming to senior awards nights. It was so nice to get recognition, and I really appreciated all your hard work in putting that together and saying some nice words for me. So I just want to say thank you for all the support and help you've given me.
Vanessa, you've been amazing. I just hope that our next youth representative is even half the wonderful person that you are. I mean,
Thank you so
you even helped me when I needed a cat sitter.
Oh, now I know you cats it.
No, she didn't. She got someone else to help.
Great,
Yeah,
great.
I think I was away on vacation or something, but yes.
Um,
And don't be, let us know how things are going at school. You're going to be away, and I know you're around all summer.
Yeah.
But please stay in touch with us. We love to hear how people are doing. One of your predecessors, fine artist, Jana Herzog, this summer is working at the Boys and Girl Club. So that's another one of we've just been really so fortunate with our student volunteers. They've been great. And you, Vanessa, were a dream volunteer for us.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna try to make it to the Juneteenth event too, so I hope to see you guys
great.
in person
Great.
as well.
All right.
There was a
Well,
motion.
It was a
Yes.
call to a motion. I will second the motion to adjourn. And I'm in favor, 8:01.
Yes. I'm in
Yes.
favor.
Everyone's supposed to live say yes.
Yes.
Okay. Call their names and say, ask if they're in favor.
Okay. Jan,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Vanessa,
Yes.
we did it. Have a good
Okay.
night.
Good night, everybody.
night.
all. Thank you.
8:02.